action.
So today I'm doing a kind of a J-rig repair for my friend Farrell on his seat in his Dodge, and it's seen better days. It's kind of a big hole. Normally I would say you just need to reupholster this baby. But we can certainly buy some time and improve the appearance, basically throwing in more foam and a sub patch. I didn't have any gray fabric. You could use iron-on patches, but I want to try to make it look as nice as I can. So I'm actually going to take an old scrap of leather and I'm going to dye it with our Rub and Restore. And I've got all these color swatches here. And I'm going to do a mixture of stone and espresso really quickly just to try to get ballpark so it's not this obviously different colored patch. Let's see where I can get with this. I should maybe be working with some black too, but I'm always surprised. You think it's a gray interior and it's more of a cool taupe color. And start slopping it on here. So we've got this, the whole reason this occurred is because of the metal frame of the seat, which has a few sharp edges and just burned through the foam and substrate. And you could use duct tape, but I've got a couple of pieces of rag and some strips that I've cut, and I'm gonna sort of wrap those around this metal frame to create a little bit more of a buffer before I apply more foam. All right, and then right over it, I've got myself a nice piece of sort of high density foam. And this is the most time consuming part when you're of a repair like this, is because you really have to sculpt it to fit. And I was lucky this was just a remnant from something else and it kind of fits in here. And stuff this in. And you know, this could take a long time just to sculpt it perfectly, and you know, you want it to sit kind of smoothly again, and this is a bit bumpy still, but the sub patch is going to conceal some of that. And this front edge is also really thin, so I've got another piece here, but I don't want it quite this thick. So I'm going to try to just snip it down the center. A razor blade would probably be better for this, or an X-Acto blade. But so I've kind of slit my piece in half. Not very, an upholstery shop would be horrified. It's not exactly what I would call smooth and perfect. And I'm just going to try to sculpt. The idea is to sculpt your foam and just get to create a nice new substrate upon which this sub patch or patch is going to rest. So you can see a lot of the work is just kind of getting the foam to be nice. So yeah, so now we've kind of rebuilt this upholstery, and we just need to put a patch in there. So I'm going to clean up these edges just a little bit, just the raggedy bits. All right. And so the leather that I dyed is obviously not the right color, but I could always go back and rework that just for the purposes of this slam dunk. It's better than what it was prior, which was a dark blue. And I've kind of, you need to see how much needs patching. I want the patch to come over here, and this joint here needs some as well. So this is actually a perfect length. I want it to come down to this seam. I also want it to wrap around this face. So I'm just going to round these edges a little bit more to make my life easier. And then trying not to do more damage to the fabric and being patient, because this is always kind of the tricky part, is work this patch in. Also, if you were working on the front corner of the seat where you have this curve and this curve, you have like more like a 3-dimension, or this is 3 dimensions, but you know what I mean, more curves to deal with. You'd want to snip corners of the fabric like an upholsterer would to round it and prevent this wrinkling and buckling. Fortunately for me, this is a pretty easy repair right here because it's just that one curve, and I can work with a single sort of flat piece of leather vinyl. And so I'm trying to work this up into this joint right here as well, because this was part of the structural problem. And this feels pretty good. So now it's time to glue. And so again, I'm using my 3M plastic and emblem adhesive. This stuff is banned in the state of California. It's got some MEK in it. You don't want to huff it unless you are that kind of person, which I am not. And you have to be careful with it. It's really a great flexible adhesive. I would recommend a fabric glue as well. It's easy to find Loctite's plastic and emblem adhesive. I think that also has MEK in it. It sure smells like it. So with these thinner woven fabrics, you want to do a really thin coat. Here, I'll come in and show you this side. And this glue is also going to damage the dye, so you want to be careful to get it just on the sort of areas that you won't see. And if you get it messy with it, you want to get on it lickety-split with some sort of solvent, whether it's lacquer thinner or denatured alcohol. Get a thin layer in there. And this stuff will also melt the foam, so don't get it near any foam. Tack it down. And then pull it back up, and this is already getting great adhesion. If you feel like, if you can pull it back up, blow a little air on it for just a few minutes, and then for about 10 seconds, and then tack it back down. And I have a board here to give myself some pressure. When you're doing a tear this large or a repair this large that you're having to glue, work in sections. Don't get ambitious and do it all at once. Do one side and then another. So that's pretty good. All right, and then just come into the joint here, slapping a little glue on this guy.
So you're just applying the glue to the fabric, you don't have to apply it to both surfaces?
Well, yeah, as long as you apply it to one of the surfaces and connect the two, pretty quickly it bonds. Okay. You know, and you want a thin layer of glue because otherwise if it's too thick it takes longer to cure, and you have to pull it up and blow on it to get it to tack up. So this is good. This is going to dry. It's a cold day, but it's going to dry fairly quickly. And okay, I want to re-dye it a little bit, just a little bit, because I'm picky. So this is too light. I'm gonna do, the black is too blue. I've got a little black in here from experimenting. So there's some more espresso, which is like an umber. And I'm not gonna do as much of the stone. In fact, I still have some in here. And that looks too reddish from the umber, or from the espresso. Maybe that would work actually. This is probably gonna go too dark on me now, but it'll kind of match the lovely dirt patina in this woven fabric. And you don't really want to get our dyes on woven fabrics. It's very hard to clean out, and it's going to look like you painted it, you know. Our stuff is pretty much designed for leather, vinyl, plastic in some instances. I'm going to do just a little dabbing to try to even out my streaks. If only we had a hair dryer and electricity, we could dry this quickly, but we'll do it the pioneer woman way, which is this. My color still looks too blue, too lavender, but I think I'll roll with it.